Elementary School presents Mutual Distance Learning Try 1. As the opening of classes is approaching, the Answering Elementary School, spearheaded by the school principal, Mrs. Janelle J. Taruk, started to get to work for a whole new preparation of coming back to school with an alternative way to navigate education while we are facing a global health crisis. Without face-to-face classes in the classroom, the Department of Education initiated varied learning delivery modalities that they can offer to students. One of this is the modular distance learning.
Amidst the threat of COVID-19 pandemic, Secretary Leonor Magtulis-Brunes of the Department of Education reiterated that education for children cannot wait and so education must continue. In support to the DepEd quest for continuous education, Answering Elementary School with its teaching staff says to it that everything will be done smoothly in the opening of classes, specifically of the distribution of self-learning modules to the students with a preferred learning modality, the modular distance learning, addressing the educational needs of the children in the new normal scheme without prejudicing the health protocols for the safety of all. With the participation and commitment of the teachers, parents, PTSA officials, and PLG officials, we believed that crossing the bridge of challenges towards a successful educative journey will be achieved despite this pandemic situation. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, we stand to uphold the best quality education for the children of Answering Elementary School. Mabuhay tayong lahat!
The pilot testing and dry runs of the modules were conducted in two phases: the house-to-house and the on-site distribution of the learning modules. Before the pilot testing, Answering Elementary School crafted step-by-step such as planning, printing, distribution, parents' orientation, and retrieval of modules. The teachers of Answering Elementary School, led by their principal, Janelle J. Taruk, have executed a number of plans to ensure the effectivity of the modular way of learning, from making plans that involve the possible ways that the pilot testing of dry run is successful. How do we prepare? We posted health protocol, installation of hand washing, and get ready the learning materials for children. For learning materials, every teacher downloaded self-learning modules as recommended by the division LR team to provide to the learners. While waiting the other modules, the teachers were prepared learning activity sheets aligned with the most essential learning competencies. Then, the teachers will localize and contextualize it in a certain topic required them to do so. When the learning modules or learning activity sheets are ready, printing of learning materials followed, and each of the teachers were very hands-on and resourceful to make the materials enough for all learners of Answering Elementary School. In the first phase of dry run, teachers then proceeded by coming through the doorsteps of the pupils to distribute the learning modules. There were a series of communication done with the parents and along with it was the signing of transmittal. In the second phase of journeyman, parents or guardians will come to the identified place to get the printed modules following the social distancing protocol and proper hand washing or sanitizing. At the same way, transmittal were signed by parents or guardians upon learning modules received. However, parents or guardians were facilitated in the learning of their child. Parents' orientation was also conducted to educate and enlighten the parents as to how they are going to be of help of their children while the learning occurs at home. It was visible that the parents are cooperative to make this objective a reality. During the orientation, teachers, barangay officials, and parents were solemnly swear to pledge and commit their full support in the modular distance learning. Retrieval of modules is done after a week by teachers once again visiting the household. In other way, parents or guardians return the modules to the respective teachers of the identified place where the teachers posted. Teachers, upon collecting the said materials, will automatically check the outputs, making interventions regarding the difficulties encountered by the pupils. It is true that we had experienced difficulties in this pandemic. In fact, our education system today has changes. In this school year 2020 to 2021, entering elementary school adopt new normal modular distance learning modality based on the majority of parents' response during the recently conducted survey. Our school support printed self-module learning and learning activity sheets, materials to provide our learners and to continue the quality education of our children. So, entering elementary school teachers accept the challenge to continue education amidst this COVID-19 pandemic.
So, Nilbol, barangay captain, ng barangay Insiring, siguro, ng lasing, na mapaabot sa ahong pagsuporta o tabang pinansyal man o bisan unsa na klase nga tabang ngadto sa eskwelahan sa Insiring Elementary School sa pag-implementar sa modular distance learning modality sa school year 2020-21. Ako usab isip opisyalis niining maong barangay mopaabot sa ahong aktibo nga partisipasyon ngadto sa atong eskwelahan. Kalabot na sa pagmintinar sa hapsay sa eskwelahan, ingon man ang pagprotektar sa mga butang niini samtang nasinati pa nato ang COVID-19 pandemic.
Nga ako po sa akong katungod isip ginikanan, ibali nahimutang man lagi miini nga usa na nga mahimo na puming magtudlo sa among mga anak. Ako maning kamot po sa akong katungod nga makatabang po ko sa akong bata nga para lamang gadud nga ijang kahibaw nga dili mapunong. Mao nga unsa man ang among madawat nga mga module nga ipanghatag sa among pagtutudlo dinhi sa Barangay Insiring Elementary School. Ako maning kamot ko sa akong katungod nga akong anak dili bidya ini nga pamaagi sa pag-eskwela. Mao nga kini ako magpasalamat gani ko sa mga guro nga maestra dinhi sa Siri nga nag-antos po dili po kay ang mga anak ra ginikanan pati mas nag-antos ang mga magtutudlo labi na gajud ang nakita nga ang mga gastusan sa mga papilis sa mga pag-print sa mga kuan module. Mao nga ako isip ko punta ko kay president sa atong eskwelahan. Ako mutabang po painganyo sa mga ginikanan nga ilang paninghaon, ilang paningkamutan ilang mga anak nga makatubag ini nga pamaagi sa pag-eskwela. Mao nga ako mag-ampo ko sa nga mo balik unta sa normal ang atong klase nga mawang face to face. Mao nga ako ano ko daghang ikasulti o dinhirakan ko to.
Ang bahayong isip usa ka nanay kining maong modular learning nakita naho ang kalisod sa pagtudlo sa ahong anak. Atong hunahon nga gamay ray ahong ininiskwelahan. Ang ahong kahibaw tuwang ra kaadyo para gamiton sa pagtudlo nila. ug ako'y papuntuhon gana ra gazud ang face-to-face na klase. Pero gumikan aning pandemya nga atong giatubang karon, pilit ra kanahang buhaton ang tanan para matudloan ang ahong bata kaysa magsige ragduwa sa gawas. Ug usa pa nakita na pod nahong samtang magtudlo ko sa ahong bata magakaton pod ko niini.
Si Abigail L. Consigna, eskwela sa Ensereng Elementary School. Kini maong modular learning distance na gibati ko og palisod sa maong sistema sa edukasyon. Samtang nag-answer ko sa ahong gihatag na mga module o activity sheet ni ma'am, gamay ray ahong nasabtan sa ahong gibasa ug naglibog ko sa ahong gipang answeran nga activity. Lahi ra gayud kaadyo og naa sa among room kay matudloan man ni ma'am ug ni sir pagtarok sa among leksyon. Pero kay wa pa man gitugot ang face-to-face na klase, ako ra kang himuon ang ahong makaya para dili ko makaandaw sa pag-eskwela.
As the country continues to grapple with this COVID-19, teachers of Ensuring Elementary School, headed by their principal, are doing their very best to provide education to the pupils amidst the pandemic. There were challenges also along the way, but as educators, they are more than willing to commit to the promise of making education efficient and open for all in whatever situation we are in, as they believe that learning is a promise of a better life ahead. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad, addressing the challenge of quality in basic education.